All right. Hello, everyone. This is Leland Best out on my profile instead of Leland Best Live today. And I'm coming to you through vMix with my friend Bridgetti Bamba over in Cape Town, South Africa. So, hello, Bridgetti. How are you doing today?
Hi, Leland. I'm good, thank you. And thank you for entertaining me today.
We're going to make this happen one way or another. Bridgetti's been having a little bit of difficulty connecting for some reason or another to get her live streams to work the way she wants them to. So I thought rather than keep trying the platform or systems or softwares that we've tried and have failed, we thought we'd come in with my system just to see how well she stays connected and whether or not we're having more. Maybe it's something that we need to consider flushing her browser cache, or maybe she did try a reboot on her hardware, which meant her modem and her router, and now we're bringing her back in a different approach so that we can see how well her signal holds up, because you're on a satellite over there in South Africa, correct?
I decided to try a satellite connection because the ADSL didn't work for me, although we've got great download speeds. We only get 0.65 on the upload, which is really not a great speed at all. And unfortunately, my area is not yet covered by fiber. I'm hoping within the next 2 months, possibly. Oh, seriously?
You're not the only one, so don't feel bad. I'm on a limited connection myself. Mine's like 60 megabit down, and today it's normally almost 6 megabit up, but today I'm running low. I'm actually below 4, so I need to contact my service provider as well. And for those of you who don't realize, just because you think you have a certain set speed on your internet service doesn't mean you're always getting that. There could be issues with external hardware of your own or even units nearby down the street from where you live that are causing your communication problems. So it's always good to contact your ISP every now and then to say, hey, could you test my connection and make sure I'm getting what I'm paying for? Because sometimes you don't. So it's always a good thing to double check. I've been on satellite, though. I know what it's like. It's kind of tricky. Sometimes it works great. Other times, weather conditions can get involved, and they can cause other complications, too, just with the way their systems run, obviously. Their sources are much less reliable than a hardwire connection. But how have you liked it so far for the most part?
Well, your assessment is 100% on the button there. Sometimes it works great, but when you do have weather issues, or sometimes it goes wrong on the high tower. I found, for example, my service provider sharing that tower with other providers, and sometimes they do something that causes things to go and be aware of it until I report an issue. Mm-hmm. So they hear from me practically almost every day.
I understand, and I don't contact mine that often, but when I have to, I do. I am starting to experience a slight audio glitch from you. What I have the capability of doing here with vMix, however, Bridgetti, is I can come in here and I'm going to right-click on her source, where she comes in on a call through what's known as vMix Call, is a feature that's available out here on vMix. And with version 20, which was just released recently, they've done a little bit of tweaking to make that work a little better. She goes to a web page that she enters her name and a 10-digit code into, which allows WebRTC to transfer the signal through Chrome to me in the back end of my software. And then I simply place her on the stage wherever I need her. But I can send my signal out at various depths. So we started this out with a low quality signal. So Bridgetti, what you're seeing on your side is a little less than what the people out there are seeing on Facebook. You're getting a signal from me that is the representation of the output on your screen. So you see both of us just like they do on Facebook. But what you're getting is a lower resolution, a 360p, which is below standard definition television, and it's sending a signal at 500 kilobits per second. So this allows me to connect more with people with lesser signals that are weaker. Obviously with HD we normally would want 1.5 kilobits per second. But here we're at half that, less than half, a third of that. I'm going to try and up the speed a little bit. I want to see what happens as I continue to improve the quality of your signal to you, so we can see what happens. I could lower it at first, and then I'll go back that way on the way down. But I'm going to go up to a medium signal, which you'll start to receive a high def image of me at 720p, at an 800 kilobit per second feed. So we'll see how your system holds up to that. So it's going to take just a few moments for it to adjust. I've already changed the setting. And you should start to see a little more clarity in your end of what you're seeing on your screen. And then we'll see what that does if it holds up. So tell me a little bit about what's going on in South Africa now. How are things in Cape Town anyway?
In Cape Town, I think the major focus for me and a lot of people is the fact that we've got an unprecedented drought going on here. Cape Town is a beautiful country, beautiful, beautiful. And we don't have extreme weather the way you do in the States. You know, we don't have hurricanes or tornadoes or anything like that.
That's nice.
It is nice. So for the filming industry, they come here almost all year round.
That's true. Yeah.
Because, you know, it's weather paradise, basically.
Kind of like back there. Does it look like that back there at all? This isn't.
It
Is
does.
it? Do you get the palm trees and everything too?
It does.
Oh, cool.
It's beautiful out here. Really, you should put it on your bucket list.
I'd love to. I think I'll do that for sure. And I've never been overseas, honestly, Bridgetti. I'd love to. I have connections in the UK, in Italy, and now South Africa. This is the first time we've been live together. And in Pakistan, Armenia, Russia, Germany. I mean, there's so many people that I connect with out here in live streaming that it's amazing to me. I can reach the world in my little chair here in my office, which is so amazing. But one day I'd love to actually put my feet on the ground out there.
It's one of the things that I love about live streaming is the fact that we do make connections with people in all corners of the earth. And, you know, it's a kind of connection that you couldn't make otherwise because, you know, you can see each other, you can sense each other. I mean, I don't know if I often speak to people about this. When you live stream with someone for a while and you really get to know them, you kind of just fit together, you know, because you get to know each other quite well.
I would agree.
And, yeah. So, you know, live streaming has opened up new opportunities for us to meet people around the world. And so when you do travel, almost wherever you go, you will invariably know someone, which is great.
Now, I have to ask, Bridgetti, because I'm not sure if I recall you, and I'm looking for another setup that we can do here. I'm trying to, there's your call. Okay. I'm going to do something so that people can understand how well we can change up over here on this. I'm going to go into a full screen mode. This is us in landscape, so we're at full screen width with the 16:9 frame. Were you participating on Blab back a few years ago, back in 2015 and 2016 while it was a site? I wasn't sure.
Yes, I did.
You were? Okay.
I did, yes.
So you've gotten to know a lot of the live streamers that are in the community out here now. There's thousands of us, and there's going to be millions someday, I'm sure. With Facebook opening up the doors, they've just announced 1080p broadcasting, and the fact that they're going to create their own network television broadcasting studio, you may as well say. It was only a matter of time. You know, Netflix made that leap from live streaming or streaming out video to people to now producing their own content, movies and series and such. And now Facebook's on that same, they just dumped $1 billion into their new network that I see being, it's going to be huge, obviously. It's not the reason I come to social media. I tried to get away from network television so I could do other things on social media, but now it looks like network television is coming to social media. So what do you think about that? How do you feel about that?
I think it's exciting, you know. For me, this has opened up new doors. I'm not sure whether you're aware of the fact that I often tell people that live streaming has given me a new lease on life. And I'm hoping that this could do the same for other people in my situation. I suffer from chronic pain. I have fibromyalgia, and I have found myself in a position where I was completely isolated from the rest of the world. And live streaming has opened up new doors for me. It's made me feel that I could be useful to society again. and I am totally enjoying the new freedom that I've gained through live streaming. So this is definitely something I'm going to be doing for a long, long time. And I'm very excited about the new changes that Facebook made and are making. The investment they've made to improve things for us is absolutely amazing. People trying to convince people locally that this is the way that they need. And I think eventually we'll get there, because the more people see that this is the thing to be doing. If you're in business for whatever reason, or if you're a publisher, this is the space you need to be in. Even for charities, for fundraising, it definitely is something you need to look at and explore.
It's kind of amazing, a lot of the uses that people have come up with for this type of setup, because when we started this whole live streaming thing, and I just finished a book recently called Best's Guide to Live Stream Video Broadcasting, which just made it to Amazon recently. If you want to go check it out, if you have Kindle Unlimited, you could read it for free. It's about a 105-page book that I just recently finished on the nuts and bolts of live streaming from a basic perspective for new people on the block. And it covers 7 softwares and 7 websites that you can come out to. Some are free, some you have to pay for. So, like in this case, the software I use is rather expensive. This is not a cheap production process that we do here. The actual platform version I use runs about $1,200, but there are other avenues. This comes free also, the same software. So if people want to go check out vmix.com, they can download a 2-month demonstration of the version I'm using now, the Pro version, which allows for actually 4K broadcasting, or at least recording on your own end. There's really not many places we can broadcast in 4K yet, but with 1080 coming now soon, very quickly, people may want to start considering upping their game a little bit, because as these resolutions continue to grow and internet speeds continue to increase, I mean, obviously if you're on like the signals we're on right now, Bridgetti, we would no way be able to deliver a 4K signal. It's just impossible. So we're kind of out of reach of that just yet, but we're working toward that. I'm going to do something real quick. Oh, I can't actually do it. One restriction I have is I cannot bring in the comments on my profile. So go ahead. What do you have to say?
What is the signal like for you, your perspective on?
I'm sorry, maybe I didn't clarify that for me just a little bit.
What is the broadcast looking like for you on your side?
It looks really good. I don't see any problems at all. You're coming through the system very well also. Let me go check real quick. I have the volume off.
Even after you increase the resolution?
I'm going to check real quick. Yeah, we're actually sending the signal out at 720p. So this is a high definition broadcast that we're doing to my profile. I was going to bring up the actual broadcast comments in the Facebook feed, but I always forget. I normally broadcast to Leland Best live. Today I'm broadcasting to my profile, and I can't access the comments on a profile broadcast. So what you see rolling at the bottom of the screen there would be my way of bringing in comments, but that's from a previous broadcast. So I'm going to have to dump that out of there. That was my cousin, actually, that was posting there. So let me get that off of the screen, and you guys won't have to put up with that mess. Because it's really,
I just had a look on your profile now, and the picture looks pretty good.
Yeah, we're sending it out in full format. It's a 1280 by 720, and I could go higher if I wanted to, but Facebook wouldn't accept it. So if I wanted to broadcast to YouTube, however, I could go as high as 1080p with this software. I could even do 4K. It's just a matter of availability on the platform I intend to stream to. The other caveat of that is when you stream to Facebook, no matter what resolution you send, if you go with the max 1280 720, that's great, and Facebook will play it back at 720. But when you go to download the archive for yourself, if you want to repurpose it, it only comes back at half that half that resolution, which is 640 by 360. So the repurposing effects are a little difficult. That's where there, pop that screen up again. I got to get rid of that altogether. Okay. So we really have to consider our audience if we want to stream in high def and have a high def recording, then we either have to record it ourselves, which I could do. I could have started a recording during this process and saved that myself as a high-def recording. But then I don't get all the interaction. I will see everything that you see on the screen, and it will record all of that. But I tend to like to have an archive somewhere online that I don't have to manipulate later. It's a matter of choice, really, which way you want to go. So what do you come out here to stream for mostly? What do you like to do, Bridgetti?
Generally, I do interviews most of the time.
Okay.
There is a huge need for a lot of causes to get out there internationally, and so that is a space I'm trying to fill. Okay. There's a lot of initiatives in Africa. There are a lot of areas where people are extremely poor. So there's tons of NGOs doing amazing work with very, very little resources. Mm-hmm. I mean, I just heard a few days ago there's some areas in South Africa where people have not had water for the last couple of months. Children are going to school without being able to wash themselves.
Oh, no. I can't imagine.
And it causes real hardship for women. In fact, I read an article not too long ago, it was brought to my attention, the huge role that women play in water security. Because generally, it's the women that will carry the water. They will fetch the water. And they have to cover huge distances on foot to get water to their homes. But there's one area in particular that I'm concerned about where children do not have access to water at school or home. Mm-hmm. And, you know, you can't teach a child that is hungry or thirsty.
No, you can't.
And water is such a basic need.
Well, and that's sad to hear because I deal with that actually with a lot of the gentlemen that I work with over in Pakistan who one is building a free orphanage school in a rural area of Pakistan near Karachi, and there's another gentleman who is out there with his school that's already built who streams a lot of information about the children who are in need of all kinds of resources, whether it's books, clothes, food, whatever it might be. That's their plea. They really come out here on live streaming half the time so that they can say, look, we need help. We really need this. We're reaching out to you, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, whatever. We need your help. Can you see what's going on here? And they let everyone see firsthand what's taking place. And it breaks my heart so many times. There's been times I've been out here in tears, literally, just trying to fully grasp the brevity of what's taking place on your side of the pond, we might say, and especially in these more deprived nations that simply don't have the resources available, or they've been cut off by terrorism or other political events that are taking. I mean, look what's happening over in, I can never pronounce it, it's down near Bangladesh. What's happening to the Rizwan Muslims, I believe it's probably, I can't remember how it's pronounced. There are people dying by the thousands every day, and it's because of political events that are taking place, and it's sad to see. But they're screaming out to public on social media to say we need our help.
So, Leland, this is a space that we can fill, you know, because regular media sometimes, I'm not going to say always, but they often have constraints that we don't have. Mm-hmm. You know, we don't have an agenda of any kind. Nope. So we can stream truth as it is. Yes. There's no skewing of the facts because we've got no incentive to skew the facts.
That's true.
So when there's a need in society in our area, we have the opportunity to stream that and broadcast that to the world the way it really is. Mm-hmm. And that's the kind of space I see myself in at the moment.
Good. Yeah, it's a great place to be, honestly. So I'd like to take an opportunity here, if you have a few minutes. I wasn't intending on broadcasting very long, but I love it when I can connect with someone in a situation where help is available or help is required. And honestly, here you requested my help, so I came to that call. And from that, I'd like to know, I haven't been following the feed very well, folks, and I apologize for that. But if there are some here that have some questions for Bridgetti, I'd be happy to let you come in and visit with us for a moment, because I have that capability. I'm going to show the folks here on screen for just a moment. And we're going to see how this works with you, Bridgetti. This is kind of another test for us. I'm going to show you another capability that I have here. And now we have 4 windows on the screen. So I'm in the upper left, you're in the upper right. It's a little crazy, though. Now, I need to know, how are you seeing what you're seeing? Is it something... Am I choking up video-wise, audio-wise, as the signal comes to you? Because I can reduce that again.
It seems good. I'm going to refresh my Facebook page here. I'm not really listening to it on Facebook because I don't want to cause any issues.
Yeah, and keep in mind, even having the video feed playing is another thing. This is some things people don't consider when they're broadcasting is they want to see the Facebook feed, and that's great to check it. I tend to go check it and hear the audio to make sure it's working, and then I shut it down, for the simple fact that that's also a video feed that's coming into your computer, taxing your internet broadband, and it's taking away the valuable resources to stream. So just a little tip for those who might come out and like to watch themselves on Facebook. All right.
I was trying to turn down the volume and I couldn't. I got stuck.
You know, I mute it. I just right-click and mute the tab. If I open a Facebook page, just mute it, and that way you don't have to deal with any audio issues. So I reduced the signal a little bit for you again, because with the 4 windows open, it may cause some issues for you on your bandwidth. But for those people that might be interested, let me head over real quick and give a shout-out. Hey, we have Nazim in the house, so there's someone from Milan, Italy right there. We have John Upton from the UK. We have Robert Myers here in the US. My audio and video is freezing. Okay, I don't see it on my end, Robert, so you may want to try refreshing Facebook and see if it might be on your end, but he says now the video is syncing. Who else we have out here? Corrales, hello from Lithuania. Go ahead, Bridgetti. What was that?
Was he saying that it was freezing?
Yeah, he was saying, and it could be, let's do this. I'm going to head back over to where we were, only for the fact that it could be the fact where we're connected, it's just a little too much for your signal to bear right now. So I would love to have somebody in here, but we have people from all over the world right now. Corellis is an actual constituent of mine with the folks that I deal with for transcribing videos. Corellis runs Go Transcript out of near the Scottish Museum in the UK, but he's worldwide also. So he's in Lithuania right now. That's where he's actually from. So we have people from Italy, Lithuania, South Africa, the UK, the US, all on this one feed right now. How cool is that? I just love it.
It is cool. It's cool.
Who else is here? We got Kevin Carter, we got Dennis Knez, Hamid. There's another one from Pakistan. So we've got Hamid in here from Pakistan. And that, in case you didn't catch it, Hamid, this is vMix. So vmixhd.com, you can go check it out. Get your own free 2-month preview and use what you want out of it. And we also have Milana Khalin. He's also out of Pakistan. So, or no, that one might be that one's out of Israel, I believe. No, Bangkok, Thailand. Wow, we've got a whole global crew coming in today. This is really cool. I love it. I love it.
Have you ever used Facebook audio to broadcast? I've never done it myself.
Not enough. I need to use it more. It'd be a lot of fun, I think. It's kind of cool. It's different. Do you podcast at all? Do you take your video content and strip the audio out of it and go upload it on to iTunes or onto any of the other sites like Podbean or Spreaker?
I've never done that, but it is something I'd like to do.
I'm working that way. I have not done it myself either, but I think it would be fun to start a little podcast, weekly podcast. Joel Comm just started one on Bitcoin, and it's going like gangbusters. It's like Bitcoin for Dummies kind of thing. I forget what he called the bad Bitcoin podcast or something is what he calls it, and it's taken off on the charts on iTunes like no tomorrow. So it's incredible what happens.
Oh wow!
Overnight.
I heard he's doing it, but I haven't gone and listened yet, so I need to do that.
I haven't listened much to it, but I've seen his comments and the people who are watching it. So I got to get over it. So much going on. I mean, Bitcoin's a big thing right now, obviously. Do you dabble
Absolutely, a lot of stuff going on.
Do you dabble in cryptocurrency at all?
I haven't. It's never something that's interest for me. something like that, but seems like it's quite a thing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And there's so many different ones out there. It's really hard to say, but it's down. It's on the downcline right now at Bitcoin. It's hit almost 5,000 per coin just the other day.
Wow.
And now it's plummeting. I could actually check real quick. I have it on one of my websites. I want to see for myself. I mean, I know the conversation wasn't intended to turn on to Bitcoin, and we're not going to keep going on that. I just want to see where it's at today. It is at 33.64. So yeah, it's dropped significantly. So I'm sorry to hear it, folks, but if you bought Bitcoin at 5K thinking it was going to go to 100 grand, you listened to the marketers and you fell for it. I hate to say it, but that's true. A lot of people tried to make it a big thing that it's going to go to 100,000 in 5 years, and maybe it will, maybe it won't. Most of it's because they're holding a lot of Bitcoin and they're trying to accentuate the market. They're trying to manipulate the market by telling everybody it's going to go a mile high. And now it's on a severe downturn from what it was. It's dropped almost 1,000 points in the last 2 days. So, gotta be careful with that stuff.
That's quite a bit.
You gotta be careful with that stuff. So, well, Bridgetti, this has been fun. I love this. We'll have to do this again sometime.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Well, I'm going to watch the replay, both broadcasts, and hook up with my service provider and see if they can figure out what the issue is.
Yeah, and just keep in mind the broadcast is being, and you can keep this for your own record, the broadcast is being sent from me to Facebook at 1280 by 720, so it is a high definition broadcast. I'm sending you video at the same time, which is right now currently it's at a 360p, so you're getting a little bit of fuzzy display on your screen compared to what most people are seeing out on Facebook. But that's just to help to keep the connection that we have between the U.S. and South Africa stable enough that we can do this broadcast in high definition. So for those of you who want to learn more about what we're doing, Bridgetti and I do appreciate you taking the time to swap services real quick and see if we could make this work in my system. I think your signal seems to be working great. So you might want to look into other things. Maybe we need to flush browser caches for BeLive just to see if that's something that could affect. Maybe there's some cookies that are holding that aren't working too well, because I know they have different servers for different platforms. Their talent show, or their, what do they call that? What do they call their three-person?
Q&A. Yeah.
Or the talk show. The talk show is on different servers than the Q&A, so it's hard to say. Maybe we need to contact BeLive and see if there are issues with the connections from the servers to South Africa. That could be another issue of firewalling that we're not capable of addressing here in our broadcasts, but it is certainly something Zafrir and Daniel could contact their server authorities with and see if there's something going on there with firewalls or other connecting points that aren't working properly. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. This has been really neat. And for those of you who want to check out my book, check out @BestLiveGuide on Facebook, and you'll find a little flip-through video of the book itself. I just did a video because I got my first hard copy in the mail yesterday. This is the book you would get in hard copy on Amazon. It's a 8.5 by 11 full color. But if you want to just go check it out on Kindle Unlimited, get a free copy for yourself, or $10 if you don't have Kindle Unlimited, you can buy it there. Or you can head out to bestliveguide.com and get a PDF of the book I just held in my hand for half off, which is like $12.50. So thanks for coming, everyone. Bridgetti, you especially. And I'll see you in the next live broadcast.
Cheers for now.
All right. I will catch you on the back end just so we can discuss how everything went on the end. So take care, everybody. This has been Leland Best out at Leland Best Live. We'll see you next time.